the world's first assassination sect founded by Hasan Sabbah. There were some very big differences that set these professional assassins apart from others. Have you ever wondered when, for what and why this sect was founded? They were more than just assassins. They were also murderers, drug addicts, and followers of a religion. Assassins. The Fedayeen of Alamut, also known as the hashish, is a religious and political organization founded in 1090. When the Ismaili cleric Hasan Sabbah captured the historic Alamut castle, their aim was to destroy the great Seljuk Empire and put an end to Turkish sovereignty in Iran. Founder of the hashish sect Hasan Sabbah. Hasan Sabbah was born in Tus, in modern-day Iran, probably around 1050. His family had migrated from Kufa to Tus before Sabbah's birth, because of his Shiite faith. Years later, the family settled in Ray, where Hasan Sabbah received his early education. Hasan Sabbah at the age of 17, in the city of Ray, he was introduced to Ismaili doctrine through the influence of a Dane, Amir as Arab, a title given to clerics who were appointed to spread the Ismaili sect. Having lost faith in Shiite teachings because of what he had learned from Nadadan, Hasan Sabbah devoted himself to the Ismaili faith. After years of training, Hasan Sabbah entered the great Seljuk court in Isfahan. He served the then ruler Malik Shah and his vizier Nizamülmülk. Nizamülmülk began to see Hasan Sabbah as a danger to himself and discredited him in the eyes of Sultan Malik Shah, and eventually Hasan Sabbah was banished from the court. Hasan Sabbah, who did not accept this situation, swore revenge and lived in exile for a long time. 4 years he traveled the lands of Iran and told people about the Ismaili teachings, and the Ismaili faith began to spread rapidly among the people. People began to see Hasan Sabbah as a leader, and later Hasan Sabbah was declared a traitor by the Seljuk ruler. Sultan Malik Shah saw Hasan Sabbah as a threat to Turkish sovereignty. After gathering enough religious followers, Hasan Sabbah began to implement his grand plan. In the course of his long missionary and recruitment activities, Hasan Sabbah sought an inaccessible place where he would be comfortable to fight the Seljuks. During his activities in the Daylem, he noticed the Alamut castle, built on a large and high rocky hill. It was accessible only by a narrow path. In 1090, he captured the castle of Alamut, which for 166 years was home to the most terrifying sect in history. How did the assassins make the cult such a danger? In their own language they called their sheikh, Hasan Sabbah, Aladdin, which means the great of religion. The sheikh had closed off the valley between the two mountains and filled it with water flowing with milk, honey and wine, with beautiful women and orchards of various fruits. Hasan Sabbah was saying that this was paradise, so that his followers would think that they were really in paradise. Hasan Sabbah used various methods to weaken their consciousness. He made them drink his potion. He drugged them in a way that they were not aware of. And of course he made them drink hashish. "If you do what I say, my angels will take you back to heaven," Hasan Sabbah would say, sending these followers, who thought they were truly the chosen ones, on different missions for their own actions. The followers came to believe with absolute certainty that their actions were sent by God. There was no danger that the Fedayeen would not risk in their desire to return to the false paradise created by Hasan Sabbah. After all, they were not aware that Hasan Sabbah had drugged them and taken them to paradise. For them this was a real situation. This was the perfect plan for Hasan Sabbah, because he took very few people to the false paradise, so that the Fedayeen would not notice anything and would be preoccupied with wine, women and drugs, so that they would not be able to distinguish between the real and the fake. The false paradise and the situation inside the sect were very different. The sect had very strict rules: alcohol, marriage and having children, women and talking about women, and music were forbidden. The purpose of these rules was to remove the followers from all worldly pleasures and bonds, to make them think that they would only have this state in the false paradise of Hasan Sabbah, and to make them devote themselves completely to the sect and its teachings. Those who broke these rules were severely punished. In addition to Ismaili teachings, Hasan Sabbah taught his followers philosophy, literature, foreign languages, geography, and how to become fearless assassins. The main purposes of the scientific training given to the assassins were to enable them to easily camouflage themselves in public, and the assassination training was to make them skilled killers so that their assassination missions would be perfect. One of the first victims of the assassins trained by the sect was the Seljuk vizier nizamülmülk. None of the assassinations carried out by the hashish used weapons such as arrows or poison. Daggers were used in almost all assassinations. The hashish played a very important role in the Islamic world in the Middle Ages. They had a significant impact on the decline of the Great Seljuk state during its heyday and on the throne fights. In this process, the hashish allied themselves with some Seljuk sultans and struggled with most of them. These people, who lived or were raised for a purpose, were highly skilled and dangerous. After the death of Hasan Sabbah, the sect continued to be active for some time. But as time went on, the followers' faith in the sect and its teachings began to wane. One of the biggest reasons for this was the death of Hasan Sabbah, whom they considered almost a deity. The fact that such a great and deified leader had grown old and died over time made Hasan Sabbah an ordinary mortal in the eyes of his followers. The second biggest reason was the strict rules of the sect and its teachings. The strict rules and harsh punishments began to cause the followers to question their faith. After the sect lost power, Alamut Castle was destroyed in 1256 by Hulagu Khan, grandson of the Mongol ruler Genghis Khan. As a result of the Mongol-Nizari War, the Hashish sect, which was destroyed by the Mongols, was also consigned to history. After conquering the fortress, the Mongol leader Hulagu Khan ordered his army to destroy everything. Books, furniture, artifacts, everything was burned. It is said that the Alamut Library, one of the largest libraries of the period, was burned for 7 days and 7 nights. It is rumored that along with the library, countless works of secret sciences, of which only a single copy existed, were burned, thus destroying the knowledge and sciences that contained the unknown secrets and discoveries of the universe and disappearing into history. But even this was not enough to eliminate the hashishis completely, because there were still other strongholds of the hashishis. All the strongholds of the hashishis were perfectly set up like the castle of Alamut. Fortresses were built in high, inaccessible places, and sometimes, as in the case of Alamut Castle, where there was only one road to the top. At the bottom of the hashish strongholds were dry food stores. Above them were the rooms of the bouncers. Above them were the living rooms, where people sat together and chatted, and above them were the rooms where artists and scientists engaged in science. All these rooms are carved into the top of the castle, and are located right in the middle of the hill. On the sides of these rooms were traps and cannons to slow down attackers, and large doors through which soldiers could exit or take up positions and shoot arrows. Inside the courtyard, there were small market areas where fruits, plants, vegetables, grains and all the goods needed for the castle came from the Ismailis, who lived and farmed on the slopes of the hill where the castle was located. After the fall of the castle of Alamut, all the remaining castles were either destroyed or the sect was no longer able to operate. The Hashish sect founded by Hasan Sabbah has both greatly influenced the historical events of its time and has been the subject of computer games and movies today. You can subscribe to my channel, like and comment on the video. Thank you for your support. To join and support me in my cult I founded called Money Gives Happiness.